What's good, YouTube? Welcome to Pros Only TV. You're here with myself, Roland. Before we begin, I need everybody to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this video when you're done. Manchester United beat Burnley 3-1 at Old Trafford with goals from Cavani and two from Greenwood. Let's get into it. Lineups. Dean Henderson in goal. I think that all but confirms him being the number one goalkeeper for Manchester United. De Gea is now the second choice keeper, the cup keeper. He's holding bench now for a keeper that's on about 370k a week. I mean, that's really long term. It's not really going to happen, and I don't know if they're going to allow him to fight for that number one place. I don't know if his mind's already made up that he wants to leave in the summer, but it's going to be very difficult for the club to actually shift him in the summer, because I don't think there's a lot of buyers. Obviously, we know about the pandemic situation, financial situations of these various clubs. And also if there's space in these squads for some of these clubs to take on the keeper. As for Dean Henderson, I don't think he's earned the right to become the number one keeper for the club. I think that's a club decision that's been made, and it's really outside of his hands. He just got to go into the role. I think for a 24-year-old, he's not experienced enough at the top flight level to be able to take on that mantle for one of the biggest clubs in the league. You saw that today in some of his performance as well. He was very hesitant on certain crosses, especially in the corners, set pieces and things of that nature. He wasn't commanding of his area, which people have been praising him for in previous weeks. In subsequent weeks after some of the praising that's had been going around, we've seen him make some mistakes and misjudgments. People are going to say, well, yeah, he's young, and De Gea had that same type of experience, but the difference between De Gea and Henderson is Henderson grew up in this English football and style and system. He knows that as a keeper you have to be a bit more commanding, whereas in Spain it's not the same. You're not going to be facing Burnleys like that in Spain, but you will face Burnleys like that in England. You will face clubs like that in England, and you'll face conditions like that in England. So it's a very different upbringing that he would have had to De Gea. So for De Gea, at the age he came here, he had a culture shock. It's not a culture shock for Dean Henderson. He should know how it's going to be. So for him to be making those mistakes already kind of tells me that he's not really of the level yet, which is also another interesting thing for me. But yeah, he was in goal. The back four was as expected, our usual back four. You can see that Ollie's made a tactical tweak in regards to how we are set up. So it was more of a 4-2-2-2. So you could see, obviously, McFred was in there, and then you had Bruno and Pogba kind of drifting from those wide areas and in the central areas. And then obviously you had Rashford and Greenwood, who would kind of split off as well as two attackers up front. So that was that I think that's our strongest team right now with everybody fit. Obviously with Cavani, obviously because of his age, you need to manage him correctly. He can't play every game, so Greenwood getting one game in, one game out, and just kind of managing the two of them, actually I think is going to help Greenwood in the long run. He's going to actually get an opportunity to learn, not both just on the pitch, but also when he becomes an impact sub and he actually watches the game at another level as well. So that's really good to see. But yeah, so that was the lineups. I mean, in terms of the first half, literally within the first 20 seconds, Dean Henderson makes a mistake, which they called offside, really, because he came rushing out of nowhere. Because I think we were playing up with a little bit of a high line, and Chris Wood was literally running onto it, and he scored. But they pulled it back for offside. When we looked at it after, I think when they did the analysis at half time, you could see that Chris Wood was actually onside, or just off, because Luke Shaw was playing him on. So that was a very interesting scenario, and obviously one that points to the fact that I don't think that Dean Henderson is really ready yet to be the first choice keeper, but it is what it is. And then when we look at through the first half, I mean, we were trying to press and probe. We were trying to create some chances. There wasn't really any clear-cut chances. There was a lot of half chances and whatnot. So with that, it just didn't kind of amount to a very good half for United. But on the other side for Burnley, I think they actually played a lot better in this game than they did in their actual home game when we played them and beat them earlier on in the season. So, with the ball, Burnley were pretty quick in the transition, trying to get from back to front as quickly as they could. And then off the ball, they were pressing us, making it very difficult for us to play through the lines. I thought Burnley would actually come there and just do the low block Brexit ball thing, but they actually did that in bits and pieces when we had the ball, made sure everybody was behind the ball and just tried to hold their line. Whereas when they didn't have the ball, when they did have the ball, sorry, they was able to spring forward. So it was pretty interesting, like, to see that happen. And I think, to be honest, they were actually well worth their to go in at halftime 0-0. They could have been 1-0 up, depending on what happened with that decision 20 seconds in. But yeah, with that, we've got we move into the second half, and that's when the game actually begins to liven up. And so, Greenwood gets his first goal. It's a great run from Rashford. He literally drops his shoulder on Matt Loughton, leaves him for dead. He's driving into the box, puts a ball into the box, and then Bruno just sells a wonderful dummy to the defenders. He's literally strolling in the box and just steps over the ball, and then the ball rolls through to Greenwood, who just kind of smacks it in. And Greenwood, when he gets into that position, he's always on target. Great striker of the ball, and yeah, literally just put the ball in the net. So first goal for Greenwood, and literally not that much later, like literally even less than a minute, Burnley got up the other end to get a corner. Corner comes in, and a header from Tarkowski to score the goal to equalise. And I mean, when you look at that and the way the goal was actually conceded, I think there's two elements to it. You got the keeper, who, once again, I'm going to keep saying this, he's not ready to be the number one keeper, but he was able to he's in the goal, and he's not taking charge of these moments. The ball comes in, you could see in the replay he was hesitant, like puts the hand on the shoulder of his defender, then kind of pops back. So he's already indecisive as to whether should I come. I think he's he was a bit phased by his mistake earlier in the game, and maybe a couple more mistakes he made in the first half. He was wearing that cap for whatever reason. Like, I mean, yeah, I know why he does it, but like, he just looks silly, like, doing it. Like, but yeah, he was hesitant because of maybe some of the mistakes he'd made. He's under a bit of pressure. He's getting too gassed. He's running out of the goal and trying to do sweeper keeper like he's Neuer, but he's moving like Barthez. Like, he needs to relax, man. Just chill out, man. Like, you're not at that level yet. You're learning, and people understand that, but don't get too gassed in it and start doing things that's really gonna make it a lot worse for you, innit? So yeah, he was hesitating. Obviously, he was too close to his centre halves, and especially Maguire. So the Burnley defenders were able to get a run onto Maguire and head the ball in. And like, for me, Maguire should be a lot stronger in those positions. Like, what we bought him for and what we believe his attributes are strong in the air, aggressive, can really put himself about when it comes to people attacking him in the air, especially, right? And for some reason he just doesn't exude that in both boxes. So I mean, he got put on a poster by Tarkowski. He allowed Tarkowski to really like manhandle him in there and get the goal, and it just kind of makes me wonder, like, how did you handle 5 men in Greece only for you to end up like that in the game? Like, don't make any sense, but is what it is. So Burnley equalise, and we're moving into the game. We're getting pretty late into the game, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, it's another one of these days, another 1-1 draw. And then we actually get a goal again. It's our corner. The ball goes out. Pogba gets the ball, recycles it out to the right hand side. Greenwood cuts inside and shoots, and then it's a deflection off Jack Cork into the net. Greenwood's second goal actually makes him the highest scoring or joint highest scoring Premier League teenager from Manchester United, behind Wayne Rooney. And I think he's still got till October when he turns 20, so he's gonna definitely break that record. And like, he's showing confidence now, which I think is amazing. Obviously people have been throwing around the playoff MASE, the postseason MASE and all of that. Like, yeah, he's got a lot of confidence. I think he has an outside chance of getting into the Euros as well. But I think he should rest and really reflect on the season once the season's done, and then come into the new season firing. So yeah, he gets that second goal, and then the third goal, a great team move between Bruno to Cavani to Greenwood back to Bruno out to Donny, and then Donny into the 6-yard box, literally for Cavani to tap in. And as for Cavani, I mean, I've been flip-flopping on this topic literally from video to video. I believe he should stay because of his experience. and not just his experience from playing, but also what he can pass on to a player like Greenwood, who right now that internship, that mentorship is invaluable for him. And I think that it's going to be good for him in the long run when he eventually takes the mantle of becoming the number 9. And then you've got like kind of, because I feel like his influence is a very silent influence. I don't think Cavani speaks a lot of English, so because of that, you know, he's more just about like what's on the pitch. He can communicate what he wants to do on the pitch, and I feel like he's able to do that with Greenwood and give him that mentorship that he needs to be able to become that complete number 9 that we're all hoping that he becomes. But yeah, another goal for Cavani as well. And I think like we're taking over into that part of the season where now his influence is going to be pretty crucial for us to just to win games. I mean, obviously we know that United are looking at, I think they've got second place wrapped up now, and it's really that trophy, that elusive trophy for Oli. Cavani's going to be crucial to that, because that's when I feel like he's going to really like wake up, and he's going to be really alive. He's going to really show what he can do, because he's experienced at that level. Like he's at that elite level. So it's going to be good for them. But I mean, in terms of the actual game, I think second half we came alive a lot more than the first half. Obviously Greenwood, I think for me, man of the match, didn't put a foot wrong. There weren't really too many standout performers. As for the club itself, second place wrapped up now, I believe. I mean, we're 8 points off City, 6 games to go. Could be a little challenge. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's over for the season, but hopefully it kind of, I mean, well, yeah, they're 66 points, so they've actually matched the same amount of points as last season. And so they will be able to break that. Is that progress? For some people say from a statistical standpoint, it's progress. But really, we all know that as United supporters, trophies are the barometer. That's what we should be looking and holding the club up to. And they have one shot at it, and it's the Europa League. They have to win it or bust. So we'll see what happens on that front. But yeah, I mean, I believe our next game is Leeds at home. So that should be it's not Leeds at home, Leeds away, sorry. And obviously we beat them, what was it, 6-2 in the home fixture earlier on in the season. So that should be a good game. I mean, it's a shame that fans can't be there, because obviously that's their first top flight meeting in God knows how long, since maybe 2003, maybe? I think 2003 or something like that. So that should be a very interesting game on Sunday. And obviously there's no midweek Europa League Thursday fixture. So I think that's happening when we face Roma end of April, I think 29th or something like that. So yeah, but yeah, this is me, Roland. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, Pros Only TV. Socials are coming up next, but I'm signing out. Peace.